How we doing there, boys and girls? Manthieus here, and welcome back to another video. So World of Warcraft Dragonflight is now in beta mode. They've turned off the alpha and we're now officially in beta mode. This is one step closer to an eventual release date and us being able to play this brand new expansion of this game that we all love. What I wanted to do today though is just go through a few things for you guys, just to give you the heads up of exactly how you can get access to beta if you don't already. It's a simple one button sign up process. It's not too difficult, but you need the right link. So I'll leave the link in the description down below, but I'll showcase exactly what needs to be done. And I want to just touch on one of the more recent updates that we've seen on the alpha and how it might impact us as players who enjoy with the crafting, enjoy the economy side of World of Warcraft. But firstly then, let's take a little look about what we need to do to get yourselves into the beta. One of my big drawbacks with having access to the alpha, I was very fortunate to get access to the alpha, but it was like a graveyard in there. There was never ever anybody else online. That felt like there was never more than 10 people playing it, and it made, you know, getting the true MMO experience relatively difficult. Sure, we could look at a few classes and stuff, but it was not perfect. They've flooded people into the beta though. You do need to opt in to become a tester though, so if you don't have access to it straight away, make sure you are opted in. The opt-in link, like I said, I'll leave the opt-in link in the description down below. I'll maybe put a pinned comment for it as well. Simple one button opt-in process. Just make sure you are opted in. A few people who reported back to me saying that they were opted into the alpha, but are now had to re-opt into the beta. Even if you think you've done this before, check the link. Just make sure you are opted in, and so that you get access to it nice and quickly as and when you can. If you do get access to it, you will get an email, but you'll also automatically have your Battle.net launcher updated. If you click on the game version, you'll see, usually you'll have your World of Warcraft. You may have some classic related stuff as well, but if you get the Dragonflight beta, you're good to go. You don't need to wait for any email or anything along those lines. Make sure you click it, install it, load it, you're off to the races. That's all you need to do. There was a big wave that went out of invites in the last sort of 12 hours or so. So if you haven't reset your computer, or if you haven't reset your Battle.net launcher, give it a restart and, you know, keep your fingers crossed. Either way, though, get yourself opted in and you should be all good. What's then been changing with this patch, with this recent update of the beta? Now that we've gone into it, let's look at it from a professions and economy standpoint, because that's what we sort of specialize on over here. The big one is going to be gathering. Gathering is now fully implemented by the looks, or mostly implemented. We have both herbalism and mining to play around with. So maybe drag your druid over from retail. Sure, we don't have true flying in Dragonflight. We only have the dragon riding, but it's still a good way to get around the map quite quickly and do a little bit of gathering. Herbalism has made its appearance with this last patch. Mining came in last week, so you can wombo combo the two straight away. Because we don't have true flying, nor do we have max level pre-made characters at the moment, it's taking me a little bit longer to get my first impressions of herbalism and mining. Stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll get you a good overview of that in the next couple of days. It's the foundational way for most people to make gold in this game. Pretty much everybody has spent at least some time doing some herbalism and mining, and so it's good to know exactly how it's going to look and how it's going to feel come the new expansion. There's a weird little mechanic called overload, which is requires a little bit more testing, but there are some special nodes out and around the zone which you can use an ability on to overload them. This gives you like some cool buffs and some extra bonuses effect. One opens a portal, you go through the portal and it transports you halfway across the map to another node that you can gather. Some quite cool little things like that. We'll test it out in a lot more detail in the not too distant future. The main one I really wanted to focus on today, though, and I wanted to get a little bit of a discussion going about, is the high-end crafting update. For reference, for people that have maybe not been keeping up with Dragonflight in too much detail so far, there was an equip limit. You could only ever equip 5 pieces of crafted gear. Most of the high-end crafted gear, I should say. Crafted gear had this like tag, this radiant tag to it, and you could only have 5 pieces of radiant gear equipped. it appears that they've kind of drawn back a little bit on that sort of restriction. They now allow you to equip unlimited amounts of high-end crafted gear, but with a slight switcheroonie. So if there is a piece of gear that's a little bit more powerful, if it has a like an on-equip bonus, you're still going to be limited to only wearing 2 of these like super powerful pieces. Generally speaking, it's going to mean that people that enjoy the crafting side of things, the world content out there, not so focused on the Mythic Plus, your raiding, your PvP, for example, are still going to have a progression path that's going to take them, hopefully, just as far as people who do enjoy that end game instance content. Being able to fully kit yourself out in crafted gear is good for the players that want to do that, but it's also good for the economy overall, I feel. It's going to mean that there's going to be a bigger demand for materials. It's going to be a bigger demand for more people to engage with crafting. And when there's more of a market going about, more people are going to feel incentivized to do it. More people are going to dip their toe in it. And the economy just feels a lot more alive and a lot more vibrant and a lot more bright. Lots of things being bought, lots of things being sold, lots of gold trading hands. And, you know, the lucky ones out there will end up with more gold than what they started with. I think this is going to be really good. Blizzard wanted to make crafting and they wanted to make the professions like that 4th pillar of play. And I think this is a really good step in the right direction to achieve that. The slight downside for the beta, though, is that to be able to properly test this is now a little bit difficult. They have removed the cheat vendors, the profession trainers in Orgrimmar and Stormwind, that if you've been keeping up with any alpha footage, you'll have seen that people could basically go to them, buy unlimited materials, they could buy all of the patterns for all of the professions, they could learn any profession, you know, they're just proper, you know, testing vendors, right? They're unfortunately disabled at the moment. I am hoping that they come back to life quite quickly, because it's going to make it remarkably more difficult to test the professions whilst they're not in existence. But soon as they come back up, I will start testing this. I will start throwing a bunch of crafted gear at a bunch of characters, seeing how high we can get them, seeing where these limitations come into play, and just seeing what is possible. Can a crafter out there who just engages with the world content achieve a similar thing gearing wise as somebody that does go do their Mythic Plus, or does go do their PvP, or does go and hit that raid? More importantly, do you think that they should? There's a common argument that, you know, you shouldn't get the best gear unless you go and kill the biggest and best boss, and in some cases I do kind of agree with that. But if it's an alternative path that takes you a different direction, I still think it would be good if people could gear up to an equivalent level. Maybe not best in slot, but at least part of the way there. So let me know what you think about that, boys and girls. I'm going to leave it there for this video. I'm going to keep this one a little bit shorter. But good luck trying to get into the beta. If you get access to it nice and quickly, you've got the weekend to have a little bit of a play around with it now. More importantly, put some groups together, go and explore it. We'll be streaming the beta pretty much daily from here on out, I'd imagine. You know, our focus on retail is gonna take a bit of a drop as we focus a lot more on the alpha and the beta going forwards now. So if that's your jam, hit that like button, stay subscribed for more content from me. But I'll leave it there for today, boys and girls. Have a good one. I'll catch you next time. Peace.